The entertainment world is full of strange mysteries we can't quite explain. Have you ever imagined a superstar who chews toilet paper like gum when a craving hits? Or a rapper who gets comfort from sniffing dirty gym socks after a workout? What about a celebrity who keeps their children's placentas frozen, just to stare at them? The stories you're about to hear uncover 19 bizarre habits of famous black celebrities, icons we only see shining on stage, never in their most ordinary, unfiltered moments. So now, it's time to step beyond the spotlight and explore the corners of fame no one ever talks about. Stepin Fetchit. Stepin Fetchit, real name Lincoln Perry, was a Hollywood legend of the 1930s, one of the first black actors to gain massive fame in comedy films. But behind the spotlight, he carried a haunting obsession that still sends chills down the spine. Perry became fixated on sleeping in a coffin, believing it would help him prepare for death. The habit began around 1958, when Hollywood had largely turned its back on him. Once a towering star, Perry had become a painful reminder of controversial roles that audiences no longer wanted to celebrate. Fame faded, offers dried up, and his health collapsed. After suffering a stroke in 1957, his world shrank fast, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Trapped in that dark chapter, Perry searched for a way to confront the fear that now followed him everywhere: death itself. His solution was extreme. He ordered a polished oak coffin, lined with deep red velvet, and placed it right inside his Los Angeles bedroom. On nights weighed down by depression, loneliness, or the pounding headaches left behind by drinking binges, Perry would climb inside. He'd pull the lid nearly shut, leaving just enough space to breathe. For 30 to 90 minutes, sometimes longer, he lay there in total silence, imagining what it felt like to be on the edge of life. This wasn't a stunt or a joke. To Perry, it was a ritual, a way to face the terror that had haunted him since his stroke. His housekeeper, Clara Johnson, later revealed how serious he was. He asked her to stand guard outside the coffin for hours, warning her never to open it unless he called out for help. That was the point when his fear and isolation reached their peak. The coffin wasn't about death alone. It was an escape from a reality he felt powerless to face. And only after enduring those moments sealed inside the darkness did Perry feel strong enough to keep going. The coffin remained in the family long after his death, a silent symbol of a strange ritual that gave him a fragile sense of peace during the hardest days of his life. Pearl Bailey. Pearl Bailey had a dangerous fascination with pain. She loved gripping red-hot cast iron skillets with her bare hands. In the pantheon of legendary entertainers, Pearl Bailey stood tall. With her radiant voice, magnetic charm, and commanding stage presence, she became a symbol of confidence and unstoppable energy, adored by audiences everywhere. But behind the glittering stage lights and roaring applause lived a far darker, more unsettling ritual. Beginning in the late 1940s, right at the height of her fame, when she was lighting up New York and Las Vegas, Bailey didn't indulge in luxury the way other stars did. Instead, she pushed herself in ways few people would ever dare. On lonely, hunger-filled nights in her cold kitchen, she would place a cast iron skillet on the stove, not to cook, but to test herself. She'd wait until the metal glowed with heat, then seize it with her bare hands, holding on for several agonizing seconds before letting go and calmly cooking as if nothing had happened. Burns were unavoidable. Blisters formed. Skin split. But with every injury came a strange satisfaction, a twisted sense of pride. Pearl would smile through the pain, often saying that a little suffering reminded her she could still feel, that she was still alive. Over time, those reckless trials left permanent scars. She suffered second and even third-degree burns on her palms at least 7 times. The worst came in 1963, when the damage was so severe she was hospitalized for 4 days due to infection. And yet, she never stopped. Close friend Lena Horne later recalled that Pearl would laugh loudly whenever someone asked about the scars, wearing them as if they were medals, proof of endurance, not damage. Raised in deep poverty in Virginia, Bailey learned early how to survive hardship and push through pain. Combined with the relentless pressure of the entertainment industry, that upbringing forged this dangerous ritual. A personal test, a declaration that she was still standing, still fighting, and would never, ever back down. Billie Holiday. the queen of jazz, famous for her haunting voice and a private pain few ever saw. Billie Holiday, the legendary jazz and blues icon, carved her name into music history with raw emotion and timeless songs. But behind the spellbinding performances lived a woman drowning in trauma. By around 1945, at the peak of her fame, Billie began a disturbing form of self-harm. She smoked nearly 50 cigarettes a day, and when the pressure became unbearable, she pressed the burning ends into her own skin, arms, thighs, even her chest. Each cigarette left behind a small, circular scar, silent evidence of suffering. Having endured relentless trauma, childhood neglect, deep loss, racism, and toxic, exploitative relationships, Billie sought release through pain she could control. Her personal doctor later documented more than 200 scars across her body, physical proof of the emotional agony she carried her entire life. Close friend Clarice Taylor recalled that Billie called the burns notes of pain, believing each one made her feel slightly lighter inside. But the consequences were devastating. In 1957, after her second miserable marriage to Louis McKay, an abusive addict who fueled her drug use, Billie spiraled further. One episode went too far. She suffered second-degree burns on her thigh, requiring 2 weeks of hospitalization and bandaging. Billie Holiday's tragedy wasn't only found in broken love, heavy drinking, or endless cigarettes. It lived in the way she battled pain that never truly healed. Even as a worshipped music queen, peace remained forever out of reach for her soul. Nat King Cole. The name forever linked to velvet love songs and timeless performances, one of the true legends of American music. With his warm, resonant voice, he became the first Black artist to achieve massive mainstream success in a nation still deeply scarred by racism. But behind the spotlight lived another Nat King Cole, driven by obsession and a dangerously reckless habit. Beginning in 1955, Cole found release not on stage, but behind the wheel of his 1953 Cadillac Fleetwood, late at night when the streets fell silent. He sought out empty roads in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Chicago. What looked like peaceful night drives quickly turned into high-risk thrill rides. Cole would switch off his headlights completely, leaving only faint parking lights glowing, then push the car to 50 or 60 miles per hour, sometimes as fast as 75. Ahead was pure darkness, the road invisible, yet he never slowed, gliding forward like a phantom. He claimed he could feel the road, hear it with his heart. These terrifying drives, as dangerous as they were, helped him unwind after exhausting performances. Still, death came close more than once. At least 3 crashes followed, hitting a curb in 1957, slamming into a light pole in 1960, and nearly flipping the car on a steep road in 1962. His wife Maria and his managers pleaded with him to stop, but Cole couldn't give up the rush. Speeding through darkness, flirting with death, was how he survived the crushing pressure of fame. As a Black star battling discrimination in a brutal industry, and a man overwhelmed by relentless schedules, gripping the wheel in the pitch black gave Nat King Cole something rare: control, freedom, and escape no stage could offer. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, the boxing madman, once wrestled 440-pound Bengal tigers barehanded inside his own home. Known for his savage, unstoppable fighting style, Tyson didn't just shock the world with his legendary knockouts and brutal dominance in the ring, he stunned people even more with how he lived outside of it. At the height of his fame and fortune, from 1995 to 2003, Tyson owned lavish mansions in Las Vegas and Connecticut, where he kept 4 massive Bengal tigers, each weighing between 330 and 440 pounds. These were not showpieces or exotic trophies to him. Tyson considered them family. Every weekend he would release them from their cages, wrap his arms around their necks, and wrestle them with no protection at all, treating it like a no-rules boxing match. The tigers would claw and bite his arms and legs during play, but Tyson laughed it off, calling it fun. That dangerous game nearly cost him his life. In 1996, while playing in Las Vegas, one female tiger snapped and clamped down on his right calf, biting so deeply it reached the bone. Tyson required over 100 stitches and spent 3 months in recovery, limping for half a year afterward. Yet even then he refused to give them up. "Tigers are my best friends," Tyson once said. "They understand me better than people." That bond likely came from deep-rooted pain. Raised in a violent Brooklyn environment, Tyson was always drawn to raw power and untamed strength. As his personal life spiraled into chaos, the tigers became the only companions he felt truly understood him. Wrestling them wasn't just reckless thrill-seeking. It was his twisted way of finding comfort, connection, and understanding. Beyoncé, the pop queen the world knows for flawless vocals and explosive stage power, has a secret habit that's far more dangerous than any high-wire performance. Forget luxury parties or private jets. Behind the global superstardom is a woman who hand-harvests honey from massive beehives with almost no protection. Since 2016, after becoming a mother to Blue Ivy, Beyoncé took up beekeeping so her daughter could have the purest, cleanest honey possible. In her sprawling gardens in Los Angeles and Houston, she maintains 2 enormous hives housing more than 50,000 bees. But unlike professional beekeepers dressed head to toe in veils, gloves, and thick suits, Beyoncé often approaches the hives in just a t-shirt and shorts, sometimes even barefoot, using only basic tools. No gloves. No full suit. Just her and the bees. From May through September, peak honey season, she's reportedly stung an average of nearly 200 times. In 2019, things turned serious when she was stung repeatedly in the face, causing severe swelling and requiring emergency anti-anaphylaxis medication, including epinephrine. After that scare, she finally agreed to wear a veil, but nothing more. She refuses to quit beekeeping or fully suit up. For Beyoncé, this isn't recklessness, it's therapy. She says working with the bees grounds her, reconnects her to nature, and brings her peace. What began as a simple way to provide honey for her daughter quietly became her personal escape, a rare pocket of calm in a life weighed down by global fame, relentless pressure, and motherhood. In the hum of the hive, Beyoncé finds balance, and a moment where the world finally goes quiet. Prince once slept inside a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, convinced it could keep him young forever. A revolutionary who reshaped the music industry with timeless hits and an unmistakable performance style, Prince remains an irreplaceable icon of global pop culture. From explosive stage shows to eccentric fashion, he was always ahead of his time, not only in music, but in how he chose to live. Yet behind the velvet suits and purple mystique was a private, almost surreal ritual. Every night, Prince sealed himself inside a hyperbaric oxygen chamber in pursuit of eternal youth. Beginning in 1988, he installed the chamber directly in his bedroom at the Paisley Park complex, the very place where he lived and created. To Prince, it wasn't a gimmick, it was a luxury essential to his health philosophy. After long hours of relentless writing, rehearsing, and perfecting his craft, he would lie inside the chamber for 2 to 3 hours, breathing compressed oxygen at levels far beyond standard medical recommendations, 2.53 ATA instead of the usual 1.5. Prince believed the intense oxygen pressure could regenerate cells, preserve vitality, and help him outrun time itself. But the experiment came dangerously close to tragedy. In both 1997 and 2004, the chamber malfunctioned, cutting off oxygen and nearly suffocating him inside. Assistants were forced to smash the glass to pull him out, saving his life in critical moments. Still, the near-death experiences didn't shake his faith. Prince didn't abandon the chamber, he simply believed it needed an upgrade. His belief in unconventional science was as fierce as his creativity. Prince's obsession with youth and health deepened as he watched friends and fellow artists die far too young. Whether on stage or off, he was a perfectionist, always pushing past boundaries, even when the risks were real. That same drive led him to extreme anti-aging therapies, despite the dangers of oxygen toxicity, nausea, dizziness, seizures, even lung damage. For Prince, defying time was just another frontier to conquer, no matter the cost. Is this conversation helpful so far? Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks, the rapper who turns cat bones into jewelry. Known as one of the most controversial figures in music and on social media, Banks isn't just famous for her razor-sharp raps and explosive personality. She constantly fuels headlines with habits many find deeply unsettling, especially her obsession with animal taxidermy. In 2018, Banks shocked the public by revealing a disturbing hobby, preserving animal bones and transforming them into jewelry and home decor. Taxidermy itself isn't uncommon, but the way Azealia practices it is what truly unsettles people. Her focus isn't on found specimens, it's on the remains of pets she once loved. Her most infamous case involves her cat, Lucifer, one of her closest companions, who lived with her from 2009 until his death from illness in September 2020. Instead of mourning in a conventional way, Banks buried the cat beneath the floor of her New York apartment. Then, 3 years later, dug up the remains. Her intention wasn't sentimental. She boiled the skull in water and peroxide, documenting the entire process, with plans to gold-plate it as a display piece for her jewelry brand. She even intended to turn Lucifer's lower jaw into titanium earrings. When she posted the footage on Instagram stories, fans and the public were left stunned and disturbed. The backlash was swift, and under mounting criticism, Banks quietly stopped sharing this side of her life. But Lucifer's story is only the beginning. Azealia Banks reportedly owns an extensive collection of animal bones, including a skull she claims belonged to a chimpanzee purchased in 2019. She has defended her fascination as a way of honoring life's energy, connecting with nature through what remains after death. Many believe this fixation is shaped by her love of Gothic aesthetics and preservation art. Growing up in Harlem, surrounded by spiritual traditions and unconventional artistic influences, Banks has said she practices brujeria, a form of Latin witchcraft. Still, she insists her taxidermy obsession is purely artistic, not ritualistic. Whether art or obsession, Azealia Banks continues to blur the line between provocation and the macabre, leaving the public both fascinated and disturbed. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson once shared his bed with his pet chimpanzee, Bubbles, letting the animal suck on his finger like a nursing child. The king of pop wasn't only famous for his unmatched musical genius, but also for a life filled with strange and unsettling behaviors that fascinated the world. One of the most unforgettable was his relationship with Bubbles. In 1987, Michael purchased the chimp from a Texas research facility for $65,000, instantly welcoming him as a full-fledged member of the Jackson family. At Neverland Ranch, Bubbles wasn't treated like an animal, he was treated like a child. He followed Michael everywhere, becoming his constant companion. They slept together in the same king-size bed, and every night, Michael allowed Bubbles to suck his finger until he drifted off to sleep. The chimp wore children's pajamas, was spoon-fed by Michael at the table, and was even seen sitting beside him in the bathroom. Bubbles drank tea from fine porcelain cups, watched television, and most famously, learned how to moonwalk alongside his idol. The bond shocked nearly everyone who witnessed it. Michael once told his assistant, Frank Cascio, "Bubbles understands me better than any human." To outsiders, it looked like a strange but harmless friendship, but it wouldn't stay that way. As Bubbles grew older, the dynamic began to change. By 1992, the chimp weighed nearly 155 pounds, and his strength made their once playful closeness dangerous. On June 12, 1992, during what was supposed to be a bedtime routine, Bubbles suddenly attacked Michael, biting deep into his left hand. The injury left a 3-inch wound down to the tendons and required 27 stitches at Cottage Hospital. That wasn't the last incident. In 1994, Bubbles attacked a Neverland security guard, sending him to the hospital for 15 stitches. The danger became impossible to ignore. Michael was forced to move Bubbles into a separate enclosure, though he continued visiting weekly, until finally relocating the chimp to an animal sanctuary in 2003. What began as a tender, bizarre bond ultimately became a reminder that even unconditional affection can't erase the line between human and animal. Doja Cat. Doja Cat, obsessed with eating clay and live insects. One of the hottest names in modern pop, Doja Cat dominates today's music scene with her bold image and chart-smashing hits like Say So and Kiss Me More. But behind the seductive visuals and playful confidence lies a far stranger obsession. The superstar developed an unusual and dangerous craving for raw white bentonite clay and live insects. Beginning in March 2021, Doja Cat started actively hunting down edible bentonite clay, ordering massive quantities online. She'd scour Etsy and Amazon, buying 10 to 20-pound packs at a time. She ate it straight by the spoonful, half an ounce to a full ounce per serving, describing the flavor as like Oreo cookies, but earthier. To feed her cravings even further, Doja Cat began ordering live insects from specialty sites like Bugs in Cyberspace. She openly consumed Dubai roaches, waxworms, superworms, and even lightly fried Asian scorpions. This routine continued for nearly 2 years, happening 2 to 3 times a week. A typical meal could include 2 to 4 ounces of insects alongside 4 ounces of clay. But these extreme eating habits came at a serious cost. Doja Cat was hospitalized multiple times due to severe complications. On June 14, 2022, she suffered intense food poisoning after eating 30 live Dubai roaches, requiring stomach pumping and 2 days of treatment at Cedars-Sinai. On February 9, 2023, she went into anaphylactic shock after consuming live wax worms, her throat swelling shut and requiring emergency epinephrine. Then, on August 22, 2023, she was hospitalized overnight after a violent allergic reaction to fried scorpions caused full-body rashes. Despite the repeated medical emergencies, Doja Cat didn't quit. She openly admitted the habit felt addictive, describing the sensation of eating insects and clay as a high, comparable to being stoned on weed. Kodak Black. Kodak Black turned ice into a nightly ritual. The chart-topping rapper developed a bizarre habit after his second release from prison in late 2020, sleeping in a bathtub packed with ice. He even bought an industrial ice machine, ordering his assistant to dump nearly 1,800 pounds of ice into the tub every night, flooding it with freezing water before he climbed in. For 2 to 4 hours at a time, only his head above the surface, his body submerged beneath the icy layer. Wearing nothing but shorts, shivering uncontrollably, smoking cigarettes as the cold bit into his skin. Night after night, the freezing baths numbed his body completely. Kodak believed the pain kept his mind clear. He claimed ice soaking helped him quit his addictions after prison, turning it into what he called a necessary therapy. But in November 2021, that ritual nearly killed him. Kodak passed out from hypothermia, his body temperature dropping to 94 degrees, barely waking up, saved only because his ex-girlfriend rushed in to help. Even with death knocking, he refused to stop. He insisted this was Kodak-style ice bath therapy, keeping him sharp and away from relapse. Still, many doubt its effectiveness. Recent reports suggest he's spiraling again, behaving erratically on live streams and even hinting at crystal meth use during a freestyle, raising questions about whether the ice ever truly saved him at all. Grace Nichols. Grace Nichols has spent 36 years devoted to a ritual most people would never dare to try, drinking her own urine mixed with lemon every single morning. Known worldwide as a model with timeless beauty and seemingly ageless skin, Grace's youthful glow hides a secret that shocks even her biggest fans. It all began in March 1988 after she read Martha Christie's controversial book Your Own Perfect Medicine. Inspired, Grace adopted a habit she would never abandon. Every day at exactly 6:30 a.m., she collects a small amount of midstream urine in a clean glass, adds fresh lemon juice, and drinks it down in 3 quick gulps. She has followed this routine without missing a single day for 36 years, whether she's working in Paris, Milan, or anywhere else in the world. She even travels with small bottles so she can continue the practice in hotel rooms. Year after year, Grace confidently claims she hasn't caught a cold since 1989. At 65, she credits her smooth, healthy skin and lasting vitality to the ritual she performs every morning, no matter how shocking others may find it. Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu has kept her children's placentas frozen in her freezer for more than a decade. The singer, known for her unconventional sound and deeply spiritual worldview, has always lived by her own rules. After giving birth to her first child in 2004, Erykah adopted a ritual she still practices today. Following each birth, she carefully preserved the placenta, sealed it in plastic containers, and stored it in her home freezer. The first homes of all 3 of her children remain there. She named them Sun 77's Lotus, Daughter Puma's Moon, and Sun Mars Universe. Every year on her children's birthdays, she takes the boxes out simply to look at them, and once even photographed and shared them on Instagram. No one knew what they contained, as she only captioned the post, "My baby's first homes." She reportedly opened one box just once, in 2015, for close friend Common, proudly explaining that this ritual preserves the spiritual energy between mother and child. Grace Jones. For more than 50 years, Grace Jones has sworn by one of the most unsettling habits in pop culture, eating raw shark meat every single day. The rebellious music and fashion icon has always shocked the world, not just with her fearless image, but with her extreme personal rituals. This particular obsession began in 1972, when she was living in Paris and discovered an unexpected craving for raw shark. From that point on, she regularly bought Greenland or hammerhead sharks from seafood markets in Jamaica, New York, and Paris, having chefs slice the meat paper-thin like sashimi. Sometimes she ate it plain, sometimes dipped lightly in wasabi. Plenty of people enjoy sashimi, but an addiction like Grace's is almost unheard of. Each week, she reportedly consumed up to 15 to 18 lobes of raw shark, sometimes for breakfast, sometimes for dinner, and sometimes for all 3 meals in a day. The dish became a permanent part of her life, and even after turning 70, nothing changed. When asked why she does it, Grace explained with her signature humor, "Sharks never sleep. Neither do I. Eating them makes me stronger." Wesley Snipes. The action star known for his lightning-fast kicks and unforgettable roles isn't just about high-octane stunts and blockbuster charisma. He has a habit so bizarre it almost defies belief. Since 1991, when he began intense martial arts training for New Jack City, Snipes developed a ritual that only he could pull off. After every grueling 3 to 5 hour session at his private dojos in New Jersey or Los Angeles, he would peel off his sweat-soaked socks, inhale deeply, and savor the pungent aroma like it was the scent of victory itself. But he didn't stop there. Snipes meticulously bagged each week's collection of socks in labeled Ziploc bags and stored them in a locked glass cabinet in his gym. Over 500 pairs saved, never washed. Even Woody Harrelson revealed that during White Men Can't Jump in 1992, Snipes would lug a suitcase of his infamous socks onto set to get himself fired up. For him, the smell isn't just gross, it's pure adrenaline. Quirky, extreme, maybe even a little unsettling, but undeniably part of Wesley Snipes' path to mastery and triumph. Dirty Bastard. Legendary, unpredictable, and completely unapologetic. One of rap's icons, he had a habit that left everyone scratching their heads, eating toothpaste like it was candy. It started back in 1993, and even he couldn't explain why. Whenever hunger struck, he'd squeeze a couple of inches of Colgate onto his finger and lick it clean, calling it sweeter than any mint candy. During the recording of his second album in 97 to 98, Arza revealed that ODB sometimes went through 4 tubes a day. When touring Europe in 1998, his only rider, 50 tubes of Colgate for snacking. Fans and crew were baffled, but Dirty himself just shrugged. He liked the taste. That quirky ritual stuck with him right up until his death in 2004. Foxy Brown. Legendary. Unapologetic. Addicted to chewing, well, rechewing gum wads. Foxy Brown, the iconic female rapper, was unstoppable at the height of her fame between 1999 and 2004, dropping hits like Il Na Na and Broken Silence. Despite her own car and a lavish lifestyle, she still hopped on the B44 or B46 buses in Brooklyn on weekends. But here's the wild part. Before every Saturday or Sunday ride, she'd check her bag for gum wads. If there were none, she'd have her boyfriend chew and spit into wrappers. These wads were saved for days, or even weeks, until their color changed, but she didn't care. On the bus, she'd claim a back seat, soak in the quiet, watch the streets roll by, and unwrap a gum wad to savor that chewy taste. According to Foxy, those moments kept her tethered to the streets she loved. She'd chew it over and over until the ride ended, then finally spit. After her 2004 car accident made bus rides inconvenient, she dropped the ritual, but for a while, That little gum habit was her secret connection to the world outside the spotlight. Andre Leon Talley adored sinking into a nest of ostrich feather pillows. The fashion icon, whose name is synonymous with global style influence, turned comfort into an art form. In 1992, after moving into his White Plains, New York apartment, Andre began crafting his signature Nest sleep setup, 15 to 25 real ostrich feather pillows, each custom-made in South Africa for $800 to $1,500. He arranged them in a towering circle, 2 to 2.5 feet high, around himself on a king-size bed. Even when winter temperatures dropped to a biting 14 degrees Fahrenheit, he never needed blankets. The pillows held heat like magic, wrapping him in a cocoon of warmth, so he could sleep in just a thin tan robe and feel perfectly cozy. Andre became so devoted to his nest that he could not imagine sleeping without it. This ritual followed him to the very end. Even in his final hospital days, assistants and family recreated his nest with 4 or 5 ostrich pillows surrounding him. Rico Nasty. Rico Nasty, the bold and magnetic female rapper known for her fearless style, has a habit that might just leave you speechless. Since July 2021, she's been chewing scented toilet paper. Yes, really, as if it were gum. But not just any toilet paper. She goes for lavender, vanilla, and rose-scented packs, buying them in bulk, 48 rolls at a time, straight from Amazon. Whether she's doing her makeup, shooting videos, or on tour, Rico tears the paper into tiny pieces, folds them, and chews for 10 to 20 minutes at a stretch. She doesn't swallow, it's all about the crunch. 0 calories, 0 weight gain, and maximum stress relief. She even packs a few rolls in her luggage when traveling. For her, it's like a calming, almost euphoric ritual that eases tension in the weirdest, most unexpected way. As strange as it sounds, it's these quirks that make our favorite stars unforgettable. Shocked? Intrigued? Want to uncover even more wild stories from the lives of celebrities? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe so you never miss another jaw-dropping revelation about the stars you think you know.